All right, welcome back, guys. This is podcast number 30. Mm-hmm. Oh man, 3 decades we've hit now. We're on a little binge of recordings. We haven't recorded a few for a while, so we're getting a couple knocked out. Just finished up one talking about number 29, which is going to be kind of an update on Arrow. I mentioned in the podcast how many projects we currently have going. A bit overwhelming at times, but for me, exciting. This one that we're going to talk about in this podcast is the same, very exciting. Something that I've been working on for some time, and really excited about kind of starting down this little journey. Wonder Boy Ben at my side as always, doing a great job documenting things as they take place around this place, both for DogBone and for Hodag Licking Stick. So Hodag Licking Stick is it's not really a DogBone podcast topic much, although we have talked about it a little bit at times. We've done some interviews, a lot of interviews with other podcasts and discussed both because we obviously have this presence when it comes to deer dog stuff, and Hodag is a dog product, or it's a dog product. It's a deer product. So there's a lot of overlap there. But anyway, we're going to talk about a new addition to our pack. Not one that we'll be keeping myself, unfortunately. I won't. My wife will not allow it. But we got a new puppy. We picked up a new puppy. We made a trip down. A whirlwind trip. We went last Thursday. We left. We got back early Saturday morning. Just drove down and drove back. We went down to northern Alabama, picked up a puppy that came from a kennel in Florida, down near Okeechobee, Florida. Its kennel is called Blue Cypress Kennel. So the dog's name is Bella, little black female. The part of it that's been kind of a work in progress is her background. So she comes from a dog that comes from a kennel called Fendawood, which is over in the UK. Came from a sire named Bailey, a dog I'm very interested in. Have spent some time. I've spent in recent time, probably in the last year, I've spent quite a bit of time and interest paying attention to some specific dogs, very similar style dogs to what I've grown to love, which is that UK bred style dog. This is one. So he is Bailey is a dog he's an IGL champion. He won the IGL in 2016. He took 3rd place in the Irish Retriever Championship in 2017. He has qualified and competed in the IGL 4 years, I guess, 14, 15, 16, 17. I'm looking at his little resume here right now. He's been a part of the England Retrievers team. The captain of that team is his trainer and owner, David Latham. So I have a lot of interest in that dog in particular. This puppy, Bella's mom, is an imported dog that belongs to Blue Cypress, named Tess. Tess is a field trial winner that was imported. She has a sire named Apollo Greensway, another dog that is a IGL champion. He has a really impressive pedigree as well. A dog that I had some specific interest in general, from a genetics standpoint. The Bailey dog is the same way. I'm interested in the genetics of that dog. So I've got this, and it's for another project that we're working on that we can get into later. But the reality of it is this came by just happenstance. Happened to be some luck involved. I had an opportunity to get a puppy from him, and went and picked her up. Jeremy Crisco, who is a kind of in charge of Blue Cypress Kennels. He manages it. He's a trainer. He's also got another kennel of his own in Alabama called Whistling Wings. I've known Jeremy for years, met Jeremy through Wild Rose Kennels years ago, and have we didn't talk real regularly, but we stayed in touch a little bit, and happened to have this opportunity to get this puppy. And the puppy is, like I said, not for us. It's going to be for a client. It's for a friend of ours. His name is Brad. Brad is a guy that I met years ago at the Dixie Deer Classic. We were doing seminars there, and Brad was a client of ours. We had a dog. I don't know if some of the people that are listening to the podcast, this might be news to you too, but we had a bit of a tragedy several years back. We had a fire, and we lost my beloved Finn, which was where a lot of this started for me. She was lost in the fire along with a couple of our clients' dogs, and Brad's dog Simmer was one of them. And so we went through. That was a real hard time, and we got through it, obviously, and with I'll be honest, the way we got through it was everybody's support. Like, we just had unbelievable amounts of support from folks. Brad has become a very good friend of ours. Through some of the hard times you go through, I think you get some of your best friends out of it. And so Brad is also an outfitter down in Southern Illinois. He's from North Carolina. Well, it's an outfitting business down in Southern Illinois. They do I think it's Illinois waterfowl and whitetail, or it's whitetail and waterfowl, one or the other. Let me double check it. But you want to Google that, Ben?
Yeah.
I want to make sure I say it right. I think it's Illinois waterfowl and whitetail is what I want to say it is, but it's one or the other. But they have a very big need, obviously, because of their line of business. A gun dog it's Illinois whitetail and waterfowl. So a gun dog is a very valuable tool to them, obviously. A tracking dog is a very valuable tool to them, obviously. So we're gonna focus on this little dog, developing her into both, and we are gonna record the process. We're gonna document the process, very similar to how we did live with Spry. I don't know the exact details on how we're gonna do it just quite yet, but we're working on it. I wanted to give you kind of a background of this dog that came into our lives, and as we start to build it, you're gonna see us Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You're going to start to see this dog come into play there. So I want you to understand where that came from. But what we're going to do is, our Live with Spry series was really valuable, I think, for a lot of folks. We're going to do something similar to that. And so I don't know exactly how yet, but we just got her. And one of the things that we're doing and we started filming this, is I want people to realize that I bring a dog in, and the day we start training, people ask, when do you start training? I talked about this in a video that we did today. I saw where someone said, I just got this puppy. It's on a shed hunting forum that I don't even know how I got to be a member of it. Somehow I'm on it. But someone asked this question, when do you start training? And I cringe at the responses. I don't usually get involved with like public forum stuff because it gets too messy and I don't have time. I struggle to manage my own stuff. But I got this, I saw these, I read the answer, I read comments, and I cringe at the idea because several, if not all of them, said, you got to let him be a puppy for the first several months. Just let him be a puppy and make everything be fun, everything be positive. Now, I'm okay with fun and positive. I'm not okay with just letting him. I read that as just let them do their own thing. And maybe I'm reading people's comments incorrectly, but if I were that person and didn't know much about dogs, that's how I would have took it. I don't think you wait months before you start putting in good habits. I think it starts the day we pick the puppy up. And so this puppy has a really nice little jump start to it. She is about 15 weeks old. She's quiet in the kennel. She's very good from a housebreaking standpoint. We've had no accidents. We're going to, knock on wood, carry that through. We've made a couple little puppy retrieves. I don't think they did much. They're very similar. Their approach is very similar to mine in that they're patient. The guys down at Blue Cypress don't push a lot onto their dogs young. I had this conversation with Jeremy. We talked about the time frame involved in training a dog. I do not base training a dog on time, age, months, weeks, days that I've been working on certain things. I base it on the progress of the dog. The dog dictates the speed. And so I probably but if you put me on a spectrum, my dogs develop typically slower than most. It's because I'm not on a time crunch. Like, I don't charge you by the month. I don't get paid by the month. I don't get more if I get more dogs through in a certain period of time. It's the dog is the dog. The cost is the cost. We get done when we get done. And that could mean 10 months. That could mean 18 months. Doesn't matter. Very, very different way of doing it is how we do it. And that's okay. I like it that way. It takes an enormous amount of pressure off of me. It takes consequently, it takes an enormous amount of pressure off the dog. And when you start taking pressure off of these dogs, watch them accelerate. I just think that's one of the biggest things that people don't recognize or realize is the more you push to go fast, the slower it typically goes. When you stop worrying about that time element, things speed up. So we're gonna do our best to show that. For the first several days now that we've had her here, I'm just getting a feel for her, and she's just getting a feel for me. And all we're doing is building some trust, building some confidence. I'm getting to know her. One thing I love about her is she's exceptionally bold at moments and in certain situations, and she's very, very extremely cautious at certain moments. And I just think it's a really nice little balance. I do believe that's genetics. And that is, she's got a super natural retrieve. I've given her 2 retrieves, 2 repetitions, 3 times in the last, today is Thursday? Mm-hmm. Picked her up on Friday. So had her about 6 days. She's made 6 retrieves, 3 days, two different retrieves on 3 different days. And the delivery is nice. I'm sharing it with her. We're encouraging the idea of it's not takeaway, it's not keep away. So those were structured retrieves. That little dog is retrieving shit to me constantly. She's picking up my Crocs. I call her the crocodile hunter. You got to pick your shoes up around her because she will pick them up and she will bring them right to your feet and she'll hold on to them. And it's just, oh man, is that fun. So, but I can't get overexcited about that, and I don't want to burn that out. I don't want to create an issue with that. So, pick up your shoes is the lesson that we're getting around here. Some of the stuff, though, that she's got just the sweetest little personality. She's got just a wonderful disposition. She's very quiet. She's very, I'll say focused for very short periods of time. But when you do have her focus, it's there. As much as I would expect at 14 or 15 weeks old. So I can tell you right now, from a breeding standpoint, she's fine. She's just really fine. It confirms some of the things in my mind about this line of dogs, it's some of the information that I was looking for other things that are coming up down the road. But great little dog, and so so far a real keeper. And now, will we run into issues? Oh my God, yeah, we're gonna. There's no doubt. We're gonna run into. We always do, and I do think that there is value in the mistakes. There is value in the struggles and the problems that you have from a learning opportunity. She is going to be different than Spry. You couldn't pry Spry out of my dead, lifeless hands. I love that dog. We went through enough raising her up that we struggled with. We also went through some things with her that were super natural, and she was excellent at on lead heel work. She was sharp, and she's always been very responsive. Now that I got into handling with her, she's 2.5 years old. And now that I started handling with her, you want to talk about a dog that handles well. Spry has taken to it. We're doing it with Cody right now. Spry took to it super easily. A little later in the game, she was over 2 years old. So is Cody right now. But Spry can take a little bit of pressure. I can make a correction with her and not necessarily be worried about her shutting down. So Spry did some stuff and continues to do stuff that's just great. But Spry also had some things that weren't so great. She challenged me in certain ways. This dog's going to challenge me in certain ways as well. Everyone you train does. They all have good things and they all have things that aren't so good. But I'm just really looking forward to this little dog. So her name is Bella, and we will be bringing a lot more about her. You're going to see a lot more with her. We're going to work with the guys from Illinois, Whitetail and Waterfall, in getting as much information about her out there as possible. I look forward to spending some time down at their place. Hopefully, in the season coming, we would not be hunting her, obviously, but I'd love to be able to sneak down there, bring her with. There's a good excuse to go visit and show you your dog. We'll just happen to time it out when the migration is right. Yeah. Ben says he volunteers for that trip.
I'll take along for that one.
Okay. Well, I'll run the camera for you, Ben. Okay. But so we're just real excited about it. It's an awesome opportunity, and I think it's going to become a better opportunity for us to try to help some folks out there that are either listening to it via podcasts like this, or watching it through our YouTube, or watching it through our Instagram and Facebook. I'd be real curious as to we are not a very wide community, but we are a very deep community. I've said that before. I would rather be deep than wide. We don't have 1 million followers. We don't have, that dog that we're training named Arrow has more followers on Instagram than we do. That's not saying a ton, but our following isn't huge. I don't care, because the people that do follow, man, they're committed and they're believers and they're super supportive of everything that we're doing. And I would much rather have that. And my hope is that we don't water stuff down to give you information. Like, I don't want to just our idea with these podcasts is they should all be good. Don't do a bunch of podcasts and make them be half-assed. I hope there's value now, they're all a little different, so some may apply more than others to certain people, but our hope is, just like our audience, keep it really top notch as far as quality, and bring value and not necessarily volume. And I think that's a reflection of what our business model is. Like, we're not into producing lots of stuff, we're into producing the best stuff. And so when it comes to our dogs, I'm not interested in great volume. I don't want to do tons and tons. It would take the fun out of it for me. It would make me I wouldn't do as well. The dogs wouldn't turn out as well. If I had more, I couldn't provide the same quality. So we're always going to do things on a smaller scale when it comes to certain items. Now, when it comes to our training products, when it comes to our training dummies, we can make one, or we can make 1 million, and they're going to be all the same quality because the design went into it, and it's a manufactured thing. It's a processed thing that you just push the button and you make more of them. The dogs are different, and so we are firm believers in kind of a small, fine craft when it comes to working with these dogs and raising them. So this little dog that we're adding in right now is something that I'm very, very excited about. We'll continue to keep you updated on her. That's probably enough on her right now. We're like I said, we're only less than a week into it, but boy, it's been a while since I've been this excited about a new pup. It's just timing wise, it's good for us. And literally the amount of background and work that I've put into tracking it down and getting a hold of it, it's just a really nice feeling to have it. So we're excited. We're looking forward to it. We appreciate the help we got from Blue Cypress with it. Jeremy Crisco in particular for helping me line it up. And now we're off and running. So that's it for this week. That was number 30. We've got a couple more that we're in what do you call a studio? We're in the studio right now in my kitchen. But we just did an arrow update. We did this one on Bella, and now we got another one that's actually a Facebook question. So we're gonna go back to that, and we're gonna continue. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for listening. Thank you for letting us know what you want to hear. Please continue to do that. If you do us a favor and be sure to subscribe. If you do us a favor, if you know of anybody that you think this would be helpful for, pass it on to them, share it to them. If they're not into podcasts or podcast apps, you can get, obviously you can get it anywhere. You're listening to it on probably a podcast app right now, but if not, you can always go to our website and you can get it through our podcast tab basically on our website. So if you wouldn't mind, do me a favor. We'll try to grow our width slightly. If you would do me a favor this week, share with somebody our podcast, and find, it could be someone that really needs the help, or it could be someone who just likes dog stuff in general. But if you would share it with them, let them know if you like it, let them know. If you don't like it, I'd prefer if you didn't share it with them. But if you like it, and share it with them, and maybe we see some of this organic growth is what we're after. So thank you again. I appreciate it. Continue to listen, continue to subscribe, and please leave us a review if you would. So thanks again. Talk with you soon.